What up, what up? It's your man's Ken Jackson. This is the Ken Jackson Experience. Coming to you pre recorded from a location here in South Florida. That's right. So, anyway, I'm going to keep this short today because this is not a regular show. But I wanted to just throw my uh, half cents out there on a couple of current events, or recent events rather. Um, and that's these mass shootings that have happened within the past 2.5 weeks or so. Um, it's obvious to me that we have a problem. We've had a problem for a very long time. What's not so obvious is the solution to that problem. Um, Now, before I get too deep into it, I want to state that I am an advocate of the Second Amendment, the right to keep and bear arms. However, I also know that that means that I don't have the right to keep and bear assault weapons. And if there were an outright ban on assault weapons, I'd be okay with that. Because assault weapons are not the only arms that are available to bear and keep. Now, semi automatic pistols, I'm all for. Shotguns, I'm definitely for. I love shotguns. I think they're the best home defense weapon you can have. A nice 12 gauge, sitting next to your headboard, to stop whoever wants to come through that bedroom door in the middle of the night. But anyhow, um, there's no need whatsoever for an 18-year-old who has no life experience, no social control, and quite possibly a weak mental state to have an assault rifle. And the Constitution does not guarantee that any of us can own an assault rifle or assault weapons of any kind. Also, doesn't afford us the right to have body armor. Think about these last two mass shootings. Both 18-year-old kids, um, and apparently they planned out these assaults. They didn't have a mental snap and just one day decided, I'm going to go shoot up the place. They planned these assaults out for weeks. Went and did surveillance. Maybe this last one didn't do surveillance, but the, the the one up in Buffalo definitely did surveillance and planned out his attack very thoroughly. Um, this last kid sent messages telling people what he was about to do. So, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, excuse me, that to me doesn't smell like mental illness. That to me just smells like pure evil. Pure evil and indoctrination. Um, these were definitely uh, terroristic crimes. And I don't really understand the debate over us not having domestic terrorism laws. Uh, Whether it be domestic or foreign, terrorism is terrorism. and should be treated as such. I don't think we need to have a special law for domestic terrorists. A terrorist, in my opinion, is a terrorist and needs to be put down, if they're committing terrorism. Hopefully, they can be caught prior to committing any terrorism, but uh, if caught in the act, they need to be put down. Now, here's one of the arguments, though, that's been trampled on. And this is coming from the conservative right, the right wing, the Republican wing, or whatever you want to call it, that the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun are good guys with guns. Now, let me tell you what's wrong with that theory. In the last two, especially the last two incidents, there were good guys with guns, and they failed to stop the bad guys with guns. Think about that. There were good guys with guns on the scene, and they could not stop the bad guys with guns, and did not stop them before it was too late. So that theory that they put out there is just bullshit. The only way that we're going to get control of this is to put some heavy regulations on who can purchase and who can own these assault weapons. And personally, I feel like nobody should be able to own them unless you're in the military. If you want to fire off assault weapons and shoot machine guns, motherfucker, join the Army, join the Marine Corps. Uncle Sam got plenty of targets for you to shoot at. You don't need to be out here in the streets shooting up innocent people, especially children. Secondly, um, and this is all personal opinions now, why is it that whenever these shootings take place and it involves the white guys, they get handcuffs? But when it involves the brown guys, they get bullets every time. You can't even argue that. It's a fact. Hell, that idiot that shot up the church in Charlotte a few years back, they took his ass to Burger King after they captured him because he was hungry. Gave him water because he was thirsty. Got a lot of people out here that look like me that didn't even have weapons, that weren't even causing problems, have caught bullets from the police. But these mass shooters, if they're on the other side, get handcuffs. But if they look like me, they're definitely getting bullets. I don't understand that. Now, don't get me wrong, I feel like they should all get bullets. I got no sympathy for anybody who goes out here and murders innocent people for any reason. Got no sympathy for them. And I'm all for justice, but the justice got to be equal. You're either going to shoot them all or you're going to capture them all. Do something. Let's get fair. Let's get real. If you got to take them down, you got to take them down. But if you can capture them, capture them. Because I like to see them tortured slow. Again, especially when there's children involved. But that's just my opinion. Who am I? I'm just Joe Blow, citizen, uh, who just calls it like I see it. You may have a difference of opinion, and that's okay. I'm not mad at you. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. So I'm not going to criticize you for yours, and please don't criticize me for mine. However, we do need to get control of these weapons on the streets. We definitely need some harsher laws that will be applied fairly across the board. Um, it, I think mental health background checks are in order. Um, that in no way steps on your constitutional rights to keep and bear arms. Um, Constitution doesn't say that an 18-year-old. It just says we as American citizens have the right to keep and bear arms, but we can put rules in place uh, to not allow 18-year-old kids to go out and buy guns. We don't allow 18-year-old kids to go buy liquor or beer. We don't allow 18-year-old kids to buy cigarettes. Think about that. We got laws that say you can't go kill yourself, but you can go kill everybody else because you can go buy a gun. You're not old enough to buy the shit that will kill you if you overindulge, but you're old enough to go out and buy an assault rifle. Doesn't make sense to me. Makes no sense at all. So for all you gun advocates out there that are yelling and screaming, uh, they want to come take my guns. No, they don't. For all of you yelling and screaming about your Second Amendment rights are being violated if they put rules in place, background checks and things of that nature. No, they're not. No, they're not. The Second Amendment was written over 200 years ago. And as with anything, it needs to be updated with the times. Um, we need to have some sort of laws, some sort of rules uh, to help prevent these mass shootings going forward. But we all know the current state of Washington, D.C., it's not going to happen. The Republicans and Democrats can't agree on anything at all. They can't even agree on whether it's day or night, when it's day or night. So what's the solution? First, we need to vote these idiots out of office because they're not getting anything done. And you need to very carefully think about who you vote for. You know, unfortunately, that's hard to do nowadays because a person can say one thing while they're campaigning, and then, as we know, once they get in office, they do something completely different. And that goes across the board for all parties involved. Um, but we the people have to get involved. We the people need to be re-engaged in the political process and at the lower level because politics work from the bottom up, not from the top down. Understand that. You got to get involved at the local level because these local guys are eventually the ones that become the national guys and girls and ladies, men, women, whatever. Um, but you have to get involved. It's part of the problem is that most people aren't involved in the political process. They just don't care. Think their vote doesn't count. They think, oh, I'm just one voice, so it really doesn't matter. But one voice can be very loud. One voice can be very, very uh, motivating and inspiring. And that voice could be yours. Um, What's the solution? I don't know. I don't have the magic wand to make it all right. But I do know that something needs to be done. But nothing's going to get done if we all don't get involved. So that's my point. We need to get some laws in place to keep 18-year-olds from getting guns. We need to get some laws in place to keep people that have had mental illness or mental issues. Uh, uh, we need to recognize that people that have had these problems may not be the ones that have guns. Because it's not the common criminals that are out here doing these mass shootings. These are so called good boys. Oh, Johnny was such a good boy. He was a straight A student and he had such a great life. I don't know what caused him to go out here and do this. You know, you saw the signs, you just ignored it. But because we don't have the laws in place to help prevent these idiots from getting their hands on high powered weapons, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change until we get these laws in place. And that's it. That's my opinion. I know I rambled on a little bit, and I'm sorry, but I just wanted to say that. Um, Tune in next week. We'll be launching our regular broadcast either Sunday night or Saturday. No, oh, I'm sorry, Sunday night or Monday night. I'm not sure which yet. But I will let you know as the week progresses. But until then, everybody have a safe and festive Memorial Day weekend. Honor our veterans, honor our fallen heroes, the ones who have given the ultimate sacrifice so that we can have the freedoms that we enjoy. But keep in mind, freedom is not free. And if you don't pay attention to what's going on, you might find yourself losing the very freedoms that you claim you love so much. I'm your man's Ken Jackson. This has been the Ken Jackson Experience. Just shit on my mind. I'll catch you next week. In the meantime, go to the website, www.crazybabytv.com. Yes, I got my domain back. And I'm so very happy about that. But you can still go to www.crazybabytvworld.com and it'll get you to the right place as well. So tune in next week. If you have any comments about this particular video, drop them below. I'd love to hear from you. And when we start our live shows, definitely would love to have you call in and speak on topic. I'm your man's Ken Jackson. I'm out. Peace.